for the people in the back, for the people in the front, for the people on the side, for the people on the front, for the people in the back, for the people in the front, for the people on the side, for the people on the front, for the people in the back.
Hi, my name is marvelon stixx. I'm a drummer at profession. I started drumming at the age of 18. I was introduced to my first band, which was not really my band, but the band I got a break with, and then the name of that band was DN5. I was introduced to that band through Mr. Trevor Malander. He now resides in Canada. He was the bass player and band leader, and that's where I got my break, where I would play with that band off and on. In terms of taking care of myself technically, musically, I took like a year off, a year and a half to fix things because I was self-taught. So I didn't go to any school or any university. I went to the University of Me, which was established in 1985. One of the highlights for me as a musician, as an entertainer, was like always performing at the shows here in St. Lucia, or even if like in the region, the Caribbean, where I had the chance to work with, at the time it was Vertex, run by Mr. Derek Yard. I was also the drummer at a point in time for DYP, which is now one of the leading party bands on the island. And I've always maintained a strong relationship with Derek Yard. He's been like one of my main influences, always helping me out and always letting me know, hey, you could check this out, always giving me positive feedback up to a day like today. So like working with Derek has been one of like the best things for me musically, because that's what got me started here. When you're in a band, you tend to want to make sure everybody's comfortable because you're the foundation of the band. But then I tried to please so many people without understanding what was my role in terms of like understanding the music. I was very capable, I had the potential, but at that time I was young and not having a tutor, I mean, it was very difficult for me to understand what I had to do. Whereas I spent a lot more time trying to please other people in terms of maybe playing or flash. And as I got older, as I matured musically, I realized that it was all about keeping the foundation and focusing on what I had to do, what everybody depended on a drummer for. And it was just very difficult trying to please this person and please that person, whereas I wasn't even pleased with myself at that time. So that was one of the hardest things for me. My advice to young people who want to be musicians, whether or a drummer necessarily, I would advise you to be as humble as possible. That's the only way you would be able to take in as much material or just understanding what you need to do, because in the music business there is the music portion and there is the business part, and if you cannot balance in between the two, it can be very difficult, where you can be a very good player, but then on the business end, nobody wants to work with you. So likewise, vice versa. If everybody wants to work with you, but you have nothing to offer musically, or you don't have your instrument, I mean, that's very difficult.
For the people in the back, for the people in the front, for the people on the side, for the people on the front, for the people in the back, for the people in the front, for the people on the side.